That place was a world shrouded in darkness. Various mutated monsters were rampaging in the world. There was a rat as big as a car, a snake as big as a train, and a fierce bird as big as an airplane. However, all of that was nothing. What truly ruled this world was that legendary evil creature, and humanity was struggling in endless despair. Fortunately, the appearance of the Stargate provided the last hope for humanity. Talented individuals had only 8 days after entering the Stargate to hope to rise and become a hero. A hero is the only human capable of defeating evil creatures. In a rather calm city after the monster invasion, precisely in the Hero District, there was a young man kicked out of a luxurious mansion. The weak man coughed up blood and cursed, calling out Fan Bin's name. He remembered that 10 years ago, his parents risked their lives to save Fan Bin during a disaster and adopted him into their home as their son. They even taught Fan Bin to become a hero like the sun. The young man didn't expect that after both of his parents disappeared less than half a month ago, Fan Bin came to their house, seized the family fortune, and occupied their ancestral home. According to him, Fan Bin was a damn man who didn't know how to be grateful. With a sly smile, Fan Bin replied, "Bai Jin, that's quite interesting. But what does Fan Bin mean by trying to seize the family fortune and invade the ancestral home? The Bai family indeed has lived in that villa for 5 generations. But so what? Anyway, all the houses in the hero residential area are owned by the 6 main hero guilds." The bespectacled figure beside Fan Bin also affirmed the words of the evil youth, because Bai Jing still hadn't awakened any job even though today was his 18th birthday. According to the joint rules of the 6 hero unions, those who haven't awakened their job by adulthood will lose the right to stay in the hero district. Fan Bin, as Bai Jin's adoptive child, automatically inherited the right to stay in the villa without objection. Instantly Bai Jin shouted that he couldn't accept it. He believed that Chairman Song had conspired to seize his family's mansion. Bai Jin insisted that many people hadn't awakened their jobs in the hero district after turning 18. But they were still allowed to stay in the district, so why was he being angrily kicked out? Didn't his grandfather and father earn this reward because they sacrificed for Dawn City? Bai Jin was violently punched by Chairman Song so the young man could keep quiet. According to him, Bai Jin was just an ordinary person but dared to protest the rules set by the 6 main guilds. He thought Bai Jin was seeking death. Chairman Song said to Fan Bin that he was handing the place over to him. Now he would leave. But he didn't forget to remind the young man of the promise he had made to Chairman Song. Fan Bin smiled widely, waving his hand and saying that Chairman Song could relax because he would surely keep his promise. After Chairman Song left, Bai Jin got up with a weak body and effort. Fan Bin, seeing him, smiled slyly and immediately kicked his weak body. Then he stepped on Bai Jin's head while saying something he forgot to tell his adopted brother. As a genius known since childhood, Bai Jin surely didn't know why he still couldn't get a job at 18. With a satisfied smile, Fan Jin explained that it was because he had secretly poisoned Bai Jin since he was 10 years old. As is known, if someone consumes the potion Gray Crystal Clear Life-Giving every month, their body becomes useless, and that's why Bai Jin couldn't awaken a job all this time. Bai Jin was shocked and asked with disappointment why Fan Bin did that to him. Fan Bin laughed at Bai Jin. According to him, the young man was very naive. The hero community residence built around the Stargate was the best and safest place in all of Dawn City, especially the Bai family villa, or it could be said, Dan Bin's villa. Besides being very safe, the area also greatly aids in one's cultivation. Bai Jin was shocked to realize that the young man tormenting him had planned all of this from the beginning. Fan Bin only said, as an E-rank thief, one can get a flat floor apartment on the outskirts of the hero district. But as long as he couldn't rise to become a hero, after his parents died, even as an adoptive child, he would inherit the right to stay in the villa. Bai Jin could only curse in anger, remembering his truly blind parents, because they saved a poisonous snake like Fan Bin. Instead of being offended, Fan Bin thanked Bai Jin for the curse that sounded like praise. After that, Fan Bin approached Bai Jin to whisper that the reason his parents fought for this mission was to get their son to awaken his job. Even though they knew it was a great danger, they still went and took that risk without hesitation. Even though their fate was very unfortunate, they were truly extraordinary parents. Bai Jin immediately screamed hysterically, remembering his parents. He could only continue screaming and cursing Fan Bin's name. The young man with a very weak body was helpless as he was kicked toward the exit gate by Fan Bin. The evil man continued to say that the slum area was the most suitable home for Bai Jin now, and if Bai Jin dared to cause trouble in the hero district, he would be immediately thrown into jail. As a righteous brother, Fan Bin said he had a little mercy for Bai Jin. Feeling like he had no other choice, Bai Jin slowly left the luxurious mansion that used to be his home. He muttered to himself, Fan Bin is a very evil person. I swear I will seek revenge and reclaim my ancestral home. Watching Bai Jin leave through the mansion gates, Fan Bin tossed a bit more poison onto the weak young man's body, thinking, although Bai Jin has become trash and is no longer a threat to me, the best trash is dead trash. In the quiet corner of the night, Baijin walked with a trembling body. He felt a piercing pain that rendered him increasingly helpless. Unaware that the poison in his body was spreading and strengthening, he was now in critical condition. Suddenly, Baijin fell forward and lost consciousness. But deep in his heart, he vowed not to accept his fate and his current dire circumstances. Suddenly, a dazzling light descended from the dark sky and directly hit Baijin's body. In an instant, he opened his eyes, and the remaining poison in his body seemed to diminish. He sat up and smiled, not expecting that the legendary secret technique of reincarnation would be so effective. Thus, he had been reborn. So, the one currently inhabiting Baijin's body was not his spirit. The figure within Baijin's body still vividly remembered the moment of his last life when he was stabbed from behind by members of a group he trusted deeply. The silver-haired man asked his trusted team member named Tianfeng, "Why would you do this?" He had always treated the girl sincerely. Tianfeng apologized, stating that if the master hadn't died, he would have continued to live in the shadow of that silver-haired man. Thus, he would never be able to become the strongest war god in the world. One figure in the group called the silver-haired man Meng Jingxian. According to him, their master was a foolish fighter. Despite knowing the strength of the great demon god, Meng Jingxian dared to challenge him. Meng Jingxian was furious to realize that from start to finish, it had been a one-way battle against him. He shattered the sword blade that pierced his body in anger, saying that what was called cooperation to kill the great demon god and fully end this dark age was only his delusion. Meng Jingxian realized that everyone had forgotten their oath to protect humanity, and they all decided to betray him. So, they all saw him as a threat who hated being ruled over. But they were wrong to think they could bring him down with something like this. With eyes full of strength and determination, the silver-haired man declared himself the strongest warrior in human history and the only SSS-ranked war god. He wouldn't fall easily. Next, he would return with even greater strength. After that, a huge betel leaf circle formed under their feet as Meng Jingxian activated the legendary secret technique of reincarnation. Slowly, Meng Jingxian's body disappeared, and his entire spirit entered Baijin's body, leaving his armor behind in another world. Meng Jingxian asked Tianfeng to wait for his return, as he would punish his treacherous comrades severely. But suddenly, Meng Jingxian coughed. He realized Baijin's body was very weak from severe injuries and near death. At first, Meng Jingxian was curious what happened. Why was this body poisoned? He suspected the poison in Baijin's body was from the gray unique crystal lizard in the Dark Realm, a Ranky thief method. The poison weakened Baijin's body greatly, so he suspected Baijin's body had been infected with the poison for years, causing the core strength within his body to be hollowed out. Meng Jingxian concluded that a body like this was useless, especially for undergoing resurrection. He was shocked to realize the body couldn't even awaken any job. Meng Jingxian was amazed and puzzled. How could his soul choose such a useless body? But then he received a flood of memories from Baijin's life. He became angry realizing Baijin had an ungrateful stepbrother like a poisonous snake. So, because they shared a similar obsession, they were drawn to each other. Meng Jingxian guessed that was why his soul chose a weak child's body like Baijin's. Meng Jingxian guessed Baijin couldn't accept his fate, receiving his body until death. As Meng Jingxian understood the crux of the matter, he promised to fulfill Baijin's last wish, which was to meet the right person before Baijin's soul faded away. Seeing the departure of the original Baijin's soul, Meng Jingxian concluded that the reincarnation skill was now fully completed, and he fully mastered Baijin's body. However, Baijin's body was very weak, so the chance of becoming a hero was less than 1 in a million. Returning to the peak of his strength would be very difficult, let alone fulfilling Baijin's wishes. But he didn't care. Even though the chance was 1 in a million, he was Meng Jingxian, the strongest SSS-ranked war god in his previous life. He would make the impossible possible. Moreover, Meng Jingxian had mastered many secret techniques that could enhance his physical and spiritual life beyond the sky. Meng Jingxian carefully considered all his techniques until he remembered the technique, the law of nirvana, 6 paths of reincarnation. The 6 paths of reincarnation was a legendary secret technique that Meng Jingxian discovered alongside reincarnation in the mysterious Void Realm. Now that reincarnation had proven effective, then would surely work. Meng Jingxian was convinced that this was a technique specifically made for him. If he succeeded in practicing it, he would be able to rebuild his highest foundation and gain far greater power than in his previous life. However, in rebuilding his power foundation, he had to enter the Stargate first and undergo the resurrection trial. But he realized, from now on, he would be called Baijin. With that name, he would return to the top of this world. That's what he thought as he walked confidently towards the Star Tower. Upon arriving in front of the majestic Stargate, Baijin thought that the Stargate was far away in the Dawn City region. That place was very suitable for him to regain his strength, as it was outside Tianfeng's jurisdiction. Dawn City was a large city in the southern region, and surely there would be many workers there. He used to be one of those heroes. Back then, day and night, he would fight tirelessly to improve his skills and continue on the path of the Aries dream. Bai Jin went straight to the nearest registration office to apply for the resurrection trial. But the receptionist guard said Bai Jin had already applied for the resurrection trial twice this month and failed both times. Although Bai Jin's father was a professional team captain, entitling Bai Jin to apply for the resurrection trial card for free with Bai Jin's potential, he prevented Bai Jin from dreaming of rising and becoming a professional, because it was truly a waste of resources. Instantly, Bai Jin exploded in anger and asked with a furious face, "What did the receptionist guard say?" He ordered the man to say it again. Immediately, the receptionist guard was shocked by Bai Jin's killing aura. He stepped back until he bumped into Commander Chibo's body. The receptionist guard immediately reported Bai Jin's behavior to Commander Choi. Seeing Commander Choi made Bai Jin remember that the commander had been saved by his parents when he was young. Now that Bai's family had undergone major changes, what would Chibo's attitude be towards the son of the family that had once helped him? Would Commander Choi be like that damned Fan Bin? It turned out Commander Chai immediately scolded the young man and said, "Several generations of the Bai family have been professionals and have made great contributions to Dawn City. What's wrong with Bai Jin wanting to apply for the resurrection trial?" Commander Chai immediately asked for the resurrection trial card and handed it directly to Bai Jin. He told Bai Jin to accept the trial card and go take the trial. Before leaving, Commander Chai whispered to Bai Jin to find a hiding place if this resurrection failed again. He asked Bai Jin to stop associating with guilds because it would be dangerous for him. After Commander Chibo left, Bai Jin thought the commander was a man who knew how to repay kindness. Mang Jingshan even felt grateful because this time Bai Jin's parents didn't rescue the wrong person. Then Bai Jin stepped towards the Stargate and tossed his exam card amidst the bright light of the gate. After the card slowly entered the light, Bai Jin slowly entered the light gate as well. In the dimension of light, this young man felt his body in great pain due to the immense pressure from the space of rebirth. But he remembered that his body had been exposed to poison all year long, so it would be very difficult to awaken his job. A potential examiner, resonating with the stars and making agreements, awakened in a job and became a professional. And the more starlight obtained, the greater the body's metamorphosis, and possibly higher in the future. If someone can't resonate with the stars, they're just ordinary humans, and they'll become poor. Bai Jin's body trembled weakly, but he was relieved enough because his body was able to resonate with one of the stars. He thought it would be impossible to receive starlight normally and make a contract, let alone awaken his job. But this was as he expected, and even if he could get starlight or see starlight, even if he awakened his job, he worried he wouldn't be able to fully change that weak body. But if he wanted to change, he had to gain more star power. So Bai Jin immediately tried to use the legendary skill, the 6 Paths of Reincarnation. He succeeded in creating a larger, brighter shadow to harness the power of the strong divine soul, summoning the 6 Paths wheel. With this, he gathered unlimited starlight power, purifying and cutting its essence and reshaping its foundation. In his previous life, as an SSS-level war god, his spiritual power was quite strong, although it had diminished somewhat after being reborn. Sure enough, the original soul of Mang Jingshan was burned by star power so brightly in the eyes of the other exam participants. After that, an open magic circle appeared, so he was immediately hit by starlight and disappeared before the other examiners. The people there were amazed to see a starlight as bright as the sun right in front of them. They wondered if when someone awakened their job and received endless starlight, they could truly change their foundation. Bai Jin moved forward to the very large firestone and felt relieved as expected from the 6 Paths wheel. He was glad because this technique seemed an unexpected initiative to attract star resonance. But that was just the first step because next, he had to be able to absorb the starlight in front of him. Slowly, the fiery red starlight tried to enter his body. Bai Jin realized his awakening was truly about to begin. Only by enduring starlight could someone awaken their job. It was truly painful to experience this again after years, but for Mang Jingshan, the war god, all that pain was nothing. Bai Jin screamed with all his might as he absorbed back the incredibly powerful and blazing starlight. A few moments later, the hot starlight aura successfully aligned with Bai Jin's body energy. He felt amazed because the fusion was too easy. Was the power of the stars that simple? But then he saw the light from another star, so Bai Jin immediately got excited to try absorbing that dark star's power. He saw a third starlight approaching him. So of course, he would immediately absorb that starlight. Bai Jin continued the process of absorbing star power 6 times. Even as the 6 stars surrounded him and tried to show their existence of power, Bai Jin's body could absorb the power of the 6 stones at once. He thought it was because of the 6 Paths of Reincarnation skill. Mang Jingshan even knew that such a resurrection test had never happened before and it was very dangerous. But it didn't matter with his current fate, because in his previous life, he had become the strongest war god. So every step was full of danger and cruelty, so the level of danger so far was nothing to him. Slowly Baijin's body was surrounded by star space, as now was the time to strengthen the body with the help of the flame 6 stars. He hoped to be reborn in flames, returning from nirvana. Baijin sat cross-legged inside the star dimension space to meditate and absorb the field's power completely. It didn't take long, the star shell slowly cracked and Baijin's appearance changed as if he were reborn. This young man immediately smiled satisfied and chanted some sort of mantra as he realized his body had recovered and the remaining poison in his body had been eliminated. It is a legendary technique, and Meng Jingshan felt like he could fight against the sky and change Baijin's fate thanks to that skill. After completing the resurrection trial, this young man wanted to know what he had built. But after he focused his mind, Baijin was shocked to see a magic circle appearing behind his back showing the symbol of 6 jobs at once. Meng Jingshan knew that after awakening, the body would also be strengthened to varying degrees based on the characteristics of the job obtained. Strong body for a warrior, light step for a thief, strong mind for a sharp warlock, broad view for an archer, determination for a knight, and chaos perception for a summoner. But he got a special body enhancement from all 6 main jobs at once. Meng Jingshan was shocked and curious, is this the true power of the legendary secret art, 6 realms of reincarnation? Meng Jingshan could say that he had seen many things in his past life as an SSS rank war god, but he had never heard of anyone getting an enhancement from more than 2 main jobs. He even got an enhancement from all those jobs. With such a foundation, his future achievements will surely surpass those of his past life. Meng Jingshan truly threatens Tan Feng. He couldn't wait to take revenge because he was sure that day wouldn't be long. Slowly, the starry space around Baijin began to disappear, so the resurrection trial would soon end. He thought this was the perfect time to leave. But after he came out of the Stargate, Fan Bin's harsh voice completely ruined his happiness and mood. Fan Bin cursed angrily, seeing Baijin still daring to come to that Stargate to undergo the resurrection trial again. According to him, Baijin was just trash who knew how to waste resources. Approaching with eyes full of hatred, Fan Bin warned Baijin to stay in his area as he said, so he could live longer. This time, Baijin stared at Meng Jingshan with sharp eyes, telling him to get out of the way. After that, Baijin just walked past Fan Bin casually. Baijin's bold attitude immediately made Fan Bin angry. He turned back, glaring at the weak man daring to speak like that to him. Fan Bin was amazed to see someone who had been poisoned by the gray crystal lizard still alive and looking fresh. He became eager to kill Baijin directly. Meng Jingshan immediately drew the small sword from his scabbard and was determined to teach his stepbrother a lesson for daring to ignore him. Even with his evilness, Fan Bin said he would kill the young man to teach manners on behalf of Baijin's parents. Fan Bin moved lightning fast toward Baijin. He even refused to be blamed for being cruel. Baijin immediately alerted seeing his opponent using bronze rank talent, swift speed, thief rank E skill, and snake attack. He knew Fan Bin intended to kill him. But a thief attacked directly instead of attacking in the dark. Even though Meng Jingshan was an SSS rank war god in the past. Quickly Meng Jingshan found the weak point of his opponent. He realized an attack that was truly directed at his job advantage, containing countless weaknesses in his eyes. Not to mention, his body had just received additional enhancements from the 6 main jobs. Even if there was still a difference of 2 levels between them, Baijin could still make a direct attack with his bare hands. Baijin was able to deliver a solid blow right to Fan Bin's face. This time, Fan Bin's body was thrown quite far away and amazed the people around them. They didn't expect trash like Baijin could deliver a blow to an E-rank thief like Fan Bin. Even Fan Bin was surprised Baijin could deliver such a powerful blow to him. He thought it was just a coincidence. Baijin realized he had just awakened his job and hadn't gained any talents or skills that could be learned. Being able to hit the ungrateful scoundrel when he was off guard was good enough. But that alone wasn't enough to defeat him. Fortunately, General Chai arrived just in time and rebuked Fan Bin for openly harming someone who had just awakened in Stargate Square. According to him, Fan Bin was like someone trying to enter prison. But the foolish young Fan Bin accused General Chai Bo of abusing his power to protect useless trash who would never be able to awaken any job. With courage, he said, General Chai deserved to be fired. General Chai just smiled thinly as he explained that Fan Bin wasn't entitled to decide whether he was abusing his power to cover up and forgive Baijin. As for whether Baijin had successfully obtained a job or not, as long as people weren't blind, everyone could see it. Just as the general said, everyone in that place could see Baijin's recent powerful and heavy blow so that Fan Bin couldn't escape from it. They also directly laughed at Fan Bin because his face was now bleeding due to that blow. Fan Bin became even more hateful and angry towards Baijin. According to him, Baijin couldn't awaken any job because he had poisoned the young man for years, plus it was a deadly poison from the gray crystal lizard. To answer people's doubts, General Chai produced a special tool that could check someone's job. From that sophisticated phone, he now knew that Baijin had successfully awakened the warrior job. so the very strong blow made sense. Now people were even more mocking Fan Bin, who looked foolish because he was only a thief, but he didn't use his job advantage and instead attacked a warrior directly. Some other people were curious whether Baijin succeeded in awakening the warrior job, because when he first awakened as a warrior, he wasn't as strong as that when hitting someone. Baijin himself was a little panicked because awakening all 6 main jobs was too surprising. If it were to be revealed, if there were strong people in the city, then he would have a big problem. Fortunately, he had a secret technique to hide it from his past life, so he used that technique to hide his aura through his mind, so only the warrior's job was revealed. General Chai immediately patted Baijin's shoulder with a proud feeling. He was happy the young man could awaken and get a job as a warrior. He believed that this way, Baijin wouldn't disappoint his parents. Now that Baijin had awakened his job, he had to go to the Warriors Guild immediately to learn and train diligently to level up. The general handed another card to him while advising the young man to work hard to obtain his job talent as soon as possible and become a true hero. Baijin had wasted too much time already, so he couldn't waste it anymore. Baijin accepted the card and said he would hurry, but before that, he would ask General Chai when is the monthly talent assessment held. General Chai replied today. Near the Stargate, there was a row of armored vehicles. General Chai explained that they were teams getting ready to leave the city for the test. But a moment later, he was surprised and asked why Baijin was asking about it. Did Baijin want to take the talent assessment now? Without hesitation, Baijin confirmed General Chai's guess. General Chai was shocked and immediately asked Baijin if he was crazy. Then he explained to Baijin that he only had one chance to take the talent assessment. Would Baijin waste it after finally getting a job? General Chai explained that after awakening, most people would be given the title of Apprentice Awakener. An Apprentice Awakener needed to study for 1 to 3 years at the guild, train basic skills, and take the talent assessment after having enough knowledge about their job. Only by passing the talent assessment would a person who had awakened gain their job talent. Only then could they be considered a true awakener. This talent consisted of skills, and each awakening could only receive 1 skill for a lifetime. The quality of the skill could even determine the success of the awakening path. Adequate preparation and good performance in the assessment were the keys to obtaining quality talents. He advised Baijin to be careful. Seeing General Chai's concern, Baijin smiled and assured him not to worry because he was confident in what he was doing. In his heart, Baijin thought, as a former god of war at the SSS level, that the talent assessment was too easy. After that, Baijin left the Stargate. On the other side, Fan Bin, who had been watching him, heard that the young man had just awakened but was already willing to take the talent assessment. He thought Baijin was very foolish. However, letting him live was a threat, so Fan Bin wanted to find a way to get rid of him. Baijin knew Fan Bin was following him from quite a distance, but he remained relaxed when facing an ungrateful dog that wanted to bite his hand as he fed it. Baijin didn't know what evil plans Fan Bin was thinking of now, but when he obtained his accompanying talent and became an official professional, a low-level thief like Fan Bin wouldn't be a problem anymore. The city was enveloped in the light of the Stargate. Outside the city, there were various terrifying monsters everywhere. These monsters were very evil and desired human souls. The monsters were afraid of the starlight and dared not approach the city. However, when there were enough monsters around the city, the countless desires of the monsters for souls would exceed their fear. A disaster tide would form and affect the entire city. In the history of mankind, many cities have been attacked by monsters. When the Stargate was destroyed, the starlight dimmed, and countless humans became monster food. Therefore, every time there was a disaster tide, countless professionals would act to fight the monsters and protect the city. In wars like these, one by one, professionals would sacrifice their lives to protect humanity. Every fighter, with unwavering determination, would call upon the light of the Stargate and become immortal under the cloak of starlight. The endless graves gather countless starlight rays, transforming space and forming a special dungeon known as the Land of Starlight Gift. Every newly awakened professional would undergo assessment in that place to pursue the glory of the ancestors, witnessed by the will of the ancestors, with talent accompanying them. At the moment, Baijin was riding in one of the armored vehicles to reach the city and take the assessment. He thought the sharp mind of a wizard was really useful. He was almost finished reading a very thick book. From the book titled Heroes of the Dawn City, Baijin knew that most Dawn cities were inhabited by lifeless creatures. If someone wanted to come to that place for the Starlight Gift, the hero spirit test in that land should tend toward lifeless creatures. Although the tests were different, the overall rules of the Starlight Gift land in every city were the same. In his past life, he came from an ordinary family and had no elders to support him. It was a miracle to obtain a gold-ranked talent. Black Iron level talent was only 1 in 10 people who could get it, while the inferior ones, almost everyone could get it. And gold level talent, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of epic talents. In this life, he could achieve higher goals. Baijin was confident he could get an epic ranked talent in this life. That was the legend in the deepest depths of the Starlight Gift Land. Before they knew it, the armored vehicle arrived at the Starlight Gift Land area. Everyone was stiff as they looked at the place. Some hoped that in this assessment, they could obtain an extraordinary bronze-level accompanying talent. But only 100 professionals could produce one bronze talent, so they could be considered just dreaming. But when they saw Baijin come to take the assessment, they were amazed because the young man had finally awakened his job. They thought, because of his parents' contributions, Baijin could apply for so many free awakening trials every year, so even a pig could almost awaken. They laughed at Baijin mercilessly, regardless of whether their words would be heard by the person concerned. Baijin just glanced at the two people talking badly about him. He thought, after those people become professional trainees, they basically study in a big guild for 3 years, but they're still so ignorant. But then he remembered that the things that big guilds can reveal are only basic knowledge. Highly valuable information is only circulated among high-level professionals, and beginners won't know about the Starlight Gift Land test. The most important thing isn't strength, but wisdom, will, and courage. Everyone's attention shifted as a beautiful girl named Lin Zai from the Lin family arrived. They knew Lin Zai awakened at the age of 11. The girl was the definition of a top genius. But strangely, she awakened in a profession 5 years ago. She should have taken the talent test, so why is she only taking it now? Baijin also observed Lin Zai. He saw that the rich girl's aura wasn't as strong as a professional apprentice's, and she seemed ordinary. But her spirit was firm. 6 guards of the Land of Starlight Gift were standing in front of the altar. Duanjia, a senior member of the Warrior Guild, told Zugong, a senior archer from Dawn City, that he heard the news about a bright star from the Lin family, Miss Lin Zai, awakening as an archer at the age of 11. It's said that Miss Lin has been preparing for years. Maybe this talent assessment will yield many results, and it seems the Archer Guild will get treasure. Mr. Zugong smiled, asking Mr. Duan not to judge too quickly because talent assessment depends on luck, so it's too early to say such things now. Although in his heart, Mr. Zugong thought, according to internal information, the Lin family is fully prepared this time, targeting high-ranking companion talents with great confidence. But Mr. Zugong shouldn't boast about it, because it would only make other leaders jealous. But suddenly Mr. Duan said, talent accompanying them all depends on chance. If Zugong's fate is not good, it's not difficult to get Black Iron ranked talent. Instantly Zugong became angry, because he felt Duanji was trying to put a curse on his guild. But Duanji said he was only stating the truth because it had happened before. The other leaders got annoyed seeing them argue again. So one of them intervened and asked them not to waste time so the assessment could begin. After everyone gathered, a guard standing in the middle immediately gave a speech. Before entering the Land of Starlight Gift, the leader invited everyone to pay homage to the ancestors resting there. Bowing, the leader said, their bravery and sacrifice allowed them as humans to survive well in a world where monsters roam. Today, all of us here are to become professionals and inherit their legacy. Now it's our turn to fight for the future of humanity. They explained that in the Land of Starlight Gift, there would be danger. This would be their first battle to become official professionals. If they don't handle it well, they might also die. Mr. Zugong also explained that the Land of Starlight Gift is only open for 1 day, so make sure to make the most of this opportunity. And whatever companion talent the participants get depends on their luck. The dimension gate then opened as all the participants carefully entered it. Inside the dark examination area, Baijin was still reading a book, making some other players laugh at him. They considered Baijin a fool who didn't know anything and needed a book to keep reading. They suspected Baijin came to the Land of Starlight Gift unprepared. According to them, Baijin was seeking death. Suddenly a big-bodied youth blocked his way. With a fierce face, he said he knew Baijin. He accused Baijin of being a notorious trash. He told Baijin to leave and read books in the classroom instead. But Baijin just stared at him with sharp eyes, making the big guy even more angry, and continued to drive him away. Even so, Baijin just passed him casually while advising the chubby youth to take care of himself. Right after that, suddenly a spirit created a magic circle around him and gave him a terrible test. Now in front of the fat guy appeared many rank F ghost spider monsters. The fat guy tried to fight many spider monsters at once. People outside the magic circle saw the fight as very unfair because they weren't official professionals yet. Most of them were confused about dealing with such monsters. In the end, the hero test for the chubby youth failed. He only got a plain colored talent rune, which is the lowest level companion talent. They suspected the chubby one wouldn't have a bright future. On the other hand, Baijin heard other participants pass the assessment very well, so he got a bronze level talent. The place was full of participants starting the assessment at a low level. Baijin knew this place was the test for the hero's spirit in the Land of Starlight Gift. If someone wants to pass, they will be able to get a companion talent at the same level given by senior heroic spirits with the power of starlight. But if they fail, they can only get lower level companion talents. As Baijin continued to step into the depths of the tomb, he was called by Lin Zai, who was curious if he wanted to continue into the tomb. Although it's possible to obtain companion talents above bronze in the depth of Starlight Gift Land, the trials in the tomb are also more terrible and often life-threatening. So she advised Baijin to delve deeper into his strength and carefully consider his decision. Baijin thanked Lin Zai for her advice, but Baijin also reminded Lin Zai that if she wanted to pass the tests of the heroes, she couldn't rely on external strength to make tricks. Lin Zai was confused hearing Baijin's words. She wondered what the young man meant by discussing external strength. Even to prevent accidents, her family carefully prepared E-class weapons that even formal professionals couldn't easily detect. She was amazed because Baijin, a professional training participant, could detect it.